Wake up, wake up. That's right. We're here on a Wednesday, and the Niners have made a trade. They've acquired a wide receiver. We'll tell you who that is and talk all about it next. Let's go.
Well, our timing is actually good for a change here, Larry. Welcome, everyone, to Wake Up. It's great to have you here. We'll tell you who we're brought to you by: our good friends at Ike's, the Dubliner, our good friends at Claudaddy Arcades, our friends at Pig and a Pickle, and all that good stuff. But we got some breaking news. The 49ers have just acquired Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who we all know famously from the Kansas City Chiefs. He'd been with the Seattle Seahawks after, a cup of coffee with the Green Bay Packers there for a minute. Wasn't that the timeline, Larry?
As far as who's he played with, yes.
Yeah.
He played with Rodgers for a while, then he went to Kansas City, and he played in Seattle, right? He played in Seattle. Let me double check his career itinerary. Yeah, so he went 4 years in Green Bay, 2 years in Kansas City, 1 year in Buffalo, last year in New Orleans. It looks like.
And he just got waived by Seattle, right?
And he was with Seattle this summer and then got waived. He went to South Florida. You know, he was born in 94. This year in the preseason, he caught 3 balls for 33 yards.
I'm going to basically say this is Sky Moore on steroids. It's kind of where we are here. This is not a guy who I think just steps right into the fray, really, to be honest with you. I think the wide receivers that a lot of 49er fans are saying might not be good enough are probably better than Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'm a little bit surprised. He played the last few seasons, and as you can see by the career bounce around in the last few seasons, there's a little bit of a fork sticking out of his back, or he's not who he used to be, and who he used to be is debatable still. I don't know. I mean, I think I would have rather had Keenan Allen. I can be honest with you, Larry. What do you think of Marquez Valdes-Scantling? Are you inspired?
No.
Me neither.
Not inspired. By the way, and I could, you say, well, are you just being negative? No, I'm not being negative. I'm a realist, and I don't just, suck up to the Niners every time they do anything. You know what? The Niners made a move. Let's find a space where we can agree with it. That's not me. He had 100-yard day last year. It was against Atlanta. He was targeted 3 times. He caught 3 balls for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. The talent is there, the speed is there, but the hands are not there, and he's kind of soft. He doesn't want to go over the middle, drops all kinds of passes, can be intimidated easily by any kind of physicality. You can separate him from the football. He's not tough. So,
I would have been much more excited about seeing this name, Hunter Renfrow. I think Hunter Renfrow, who, again, far from perfect, but I think he would have been just a better fit and is a more like Ayuk, cuts tight on a dime type of wide receiver that would figure out and really fit into Shanahan's offense. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to bag on Marquez Valdes-Scantling because, in some ways he has been there a little, done that a little, but it's a move of all the moves that are out there. And I know that we're going to be talking about some of the guys who found themselves on the outside looking in, who got cut yesterday, either outright released or put on waivers. There are a few names out there that I think the 49ers should be interested in. I did not have Marquez Valdes-Scantling high on my list of Niners need that.
Well, I mean, he's a veteran receiver. They want a veteran receiver. I mean, yes, there's a bunch of. I would have gone with Elijah Badger or Mario Williams and gone with one of these young receivers with a future.
Hey, how about
Instead,
your guy?
They want to go. They want to go with a guy they want to go with guys who are safer, who have had a past. I mean, Valdez-Scantling has played in the playoffs. He did have. In a playoff game one time, 6 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals in the 22 season. I'm looking back. I mean, his game log is not overly impressive if we shared his game log and you guys could see what he did last year. Here's what Valdez-Scantling did last year. And this is it. He played a bunch of games. He had 4 total touchdowns. He was targeted 44 times and he caught 19 balls. So, I mean, he caught less than half of his targets. So he doesn't have great ball skills, drops a lot of passes. He had 100-yard day. And he's not the answer. I mean, it's not like, and he's not the only answer, I would say. The 49ers, according to Mayoko, have high interest in bringing back Kendrick Bourne, who this morning asked for and was granted his release by the New England Patriots. So I think you could see Bourne, but these are, once again, let's corner the market on middling veteran receivers that nobody wants. It so lacks creativity. It lacks originality. It lacks any kind of upside.
It plays into Kyle Shanahan's worst habits, doesn't it? It really does. He would rather err on the side of veteran who's not impressive than rookie who might be.
There are other veterans out there that were better than this. Like McCole Hardman just got cut. I'd rather have him. You mentioned Hunter Renfrow. Rakim Jarrett was cut by Tampa. He would be way better than these options. Laviska Shenault, Malachi Corley, Deontay Johnson. The Niners are one of the favorites this morning, by the way. I'm looking at some of the betting odds. The Niners are one of the favorites this morning to sign Deontay Johnson, but I don't know if that changes now that they, but what is Valdez-Scantling? He is a veteran ex-wide receiver who can get down the field and he gives you a little speed. And Shanahan will have him run he'll run the top off the defense while Cowing is out, right? They got to have some speed. This guy gives them a little speed, but he ain't much.
Do you think that this aggravates the Jauan Jennings market at all? One move is always connected to the other. Do you think that now Jauan Jennings is actively being shopped by the 49ers front office in a trade? Look,
we're going to find out today. I mean, when Lynch and Shanahan talk today at 2:00, I will be there. But you're right, Damon. I mean, this is the big question of the moment: is what is the deal with Jauan Jennings? He has been out since March with a calf injury. They paired the roster to 53, and in doing so, Damon, they kept JJ on the roster, despite the fact that he is spouting and spewing all kinds of anger on his social media that seems to be derived all from the unhappiness that he has about his contractual situation. The Niners badly want him. The Niners badly need him. But he wants a lucrative extension. They're clearly saying no. I guess the question that I'm going to have to ask today is, John, Kyle, are you guys having private, secret, whatever contract extension talks with Drew Rosenhaus regarding Jauan Jennings, or are you not? And if they're not, then that's an indication that there's no extension coming. And then it's a matter of, okay, if he's unhappy and he sounds like he is, are you okay with that? Or would you rather trade him on to somebody else because he's a free agent at the end of the year? They may not want that locker room distraction. So it's all going to be very interesting today, Damon, to see how does John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan view Jauan Jennings if he is indeed in this current state where he's unhappy and they've decided that the one thing that they know will make him happy, they're not willing to do. What is the next step is the question.
By the way, we might have somebody in the chat here who just basically summed it all up correctly. This is J Form Cali. Says MVS is better than paying JJ $17 million a year.
Well, yeah, that was never happening. So, but the thing is, those are not. I would agree with you if those were the only two options, but those were not the only two options.
I would have rather had freaking Bobby Choice make the roster than Marquez Valdes-Scantling, I think.
Well, you may have both.
Robbie Chosen, baby. Bobby Choice.
You may have both. I mean, I don't know what this means for Jennings, but, the bottom line is the 49ers have to forget that Jennings even exists. I mean, you can sit there and pine away for that girl who ain't coming back, but you know what? The prom's coming up Saturday night, and are you gonna go and have a date and dance, or are you gonna stay home waiting for your your dysfunctional date. And they're not going to wait, nor can they. And there's a bunch of guys out there. Raheem Jarrett is the guy I would have gone for, but they went for MVS. But there's other guys: Deontay Johnson, Kendrick Bourne, Malachi Corley, Laviska Shenault, Robert Woods. You said Hunter Renfrow, Dante Pettis, Rice's kid, McCole Hardman, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then there's rookies. And I would have gone the rookie route, because the rookie route has the guys that actually have talent that slip through the process and can actually play. And that's what I'm all about. I want to see guys who can actually play. I listed Elijah Badger, Mario Williams, in addition to Corley and Raheem Jarrett. I think Mario Williams is the guy that I would go for. That's the waiver claim that I would try to come up with. Damon, this is a small receiver who had a great college career. He did nothing but score touchdowns at Oklahoma, at USC, at Tulane. He got undrafted. He's only 5'9", but once upon a time, this was the highest rated high school wide receiver prospect in the country. And what did he do with the Rams? He looked good, and he scored touchdowns this summer. So I would pick Mario Williams off the practice squad or off the waiver wire and roster him and tell these old has-beens like Bourne to beat it. But they're more conservative. They're going to probably take a more conservative approach and go with the veterans and see if they can make do that way, and we'll see if it works.
Well, we got a little breaking news right off the top of the show. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here. It is our one and only wake up this week. I believe you are on assignment come Friday, Larry. So this is our wake up this week. We did one on Sunday after the 49ers wrapped up their preseason, but glad we're dipping in again today. We're going to talk about roster surprises from the cutdown and the shakedown yesterday, and we're going to talk about what might be out there. But Marquez Valdes-Scantling joining the 49ers is a story that broke not even 5 minutes before we hopped on this live stream with you. Like and subscribe if you would and could, please, across both channels. And Larry, we normally start by telling everyone our fabulous sponsors who help us grow so much. Let's get into that right here, right now. Why don't you tell the people what they need to know?
Yeah. We've got some brand new sponsors coming aboard here in the next few weeks, but we'd like to thank our existing sponsors and our longest standing sponsor, Pig and a Pickle, who's been with us since the beginning and is going to be staying with us. Pig and a Pickle is awesome. Great barbecue. You can check them out in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville. They're open 7 days a week. The great Damon and Mary run their restaurant, and they run it well. It's an incredible spot. Get the brisket chili. Ask what's special. Go for the specials. I mean, a really great spot. Check them out. They're open 7 days a week. Also, we're brought to you by Claw Daddy Arcades. Great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. Claw Daddy Arcades will be paying for the Krug Show's travel itinerary to New Orleans this year. We're fired up about that. And also, we're brought to you by Sharp Corners, sports cards and collectibles. For all your sports cards and collectible needs, Damon, go to 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. There's a nice little video up on my Twitter about Sharp Corners. And Anthony Catania, the owner, is at 831-521-5264. He's a great follow on Instagram at Sharp Corners 831 on the gram. And thanks to all of our sponsors, and there's links in the description for all of our sponsors in the description below.
Again, thanks to my guy, Ike of Ike Sandwiches, one of the booming sandwich empires across the country. Boy, I hope there's one near you soon. If there isn't one now, or maybe it's time for you to move to an Ike's if that's an easier thing to do. Make sure you sign up for the Love Rewards program. Start earning your way to free sandwiches, chips, and drinks every single time you order. Check out Ike Sandwiches and our, of course, good friends at the Dubliner and West Portal. We will be coming to drink with you soon. I promise. Love the guys over at the Dubliner West Portal. Love having everyone here. Again, please hit like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm kiss this live stream on the forehead. Do it on both channels if you really want to double down on Larry and I's success together here for Wake Up, which is a show that a lot of people have been asking me about, Larry. People dig it. So it's great to have everyone here. Thank you for being with us once again. Biggest shockers from the first 53-man roster cut down yesterday, Larry. What did you have other than the NFL leaving the Niners just sort of twisting in the wind over this Demarcus Robinson suspension thing there for a minute? There were a few hours of confusion where I thought that this was more than settled. Kyle apparently thought it was more than settled, but actual NFL paperwork on DeMarcus Robinson's suspension did not go through. So there was this limbo of, do we have to roster this guy or not? When you think of all the drama that an NFL team is going through on roster cutdown day, boy, that was a little unnecessary sprinkle added to the top of the cupcake, didn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a procedural thing, and I'm sure they did work it out. He will be suspended for the first 3 games, I believe.
Right, but we knew that. Like, why was there any confusion in the 11th hour as a million other things needed to get done?
I don't know. You'd have to ask a league office representative. But as far as surprises, I mean, cutdown day is always surprising. It's always surprising who gets traded, who gets cut. You're always, I would say every single team probably has a fan base that's like, why did we cut that guy?
Right.
But there's so many roster gymnastics because of injuries and the rules and how things work and who could be activated and, all the different rules that the NFL has that, and then of course the practice squad, a lot of these guys will be re-signed to the practice squad. The kind of the cruel thing is they almost should do a documentary on it. There are guys who dreamt the dream of playing in the NFL their whole goddamn life. They went to college dreaming of the NFL. They went to draft day, hoping. Then somehow between draft day and training camp, they got that call. Hey, you're going to camp. Your dream's going to be fulfilled. And then they played in camp, played in the preseason, blood, sweat, and tears, this and that. And then cutdown day comes on the 26th, and you made it. And then today, you're cut and gone. And that's not could happen. That will happen today. There will be several guys who yesterday thought they were living their dream, and today will be gone. And that's just life comes at you fast in the NFL. Life comes at you really, really fast in the NFL. There's a lot of moving parts, and life is not fair. It's like the guy who gets called up to the big leagues for a weekend series, never gets an at-bat or never gets a chance to pitch, gets sent out, and never gets called up again. I mean, imagine that, getting that close to your dream, and then just like, oh, poof, it's up in smoke. And that's going to happen today because, like the Niners, give you an example. I'm looking at Matt Barrows put this out on Twitter, or RSF 49ers. Travis Gibson plans to sign with the 49ers practice squad if he indeed clears waivers today. So, I mean, it's like there's a bunch of guys. I mean, the Niners cut yesterday a bunch of guys. But of that group, there's also, I'll give you the list here. Of the guys they cut yesterday, here are the guys that I think today they're looking to bring back. Robbie Chosen, Russell Gage, Travis Gibson, Bruce Hector, defensive tackle, maybe Isaiah Hodgins, definitely Thomas Morstead, because they don't have a punter on their roster. Curtis Robinson, Chaz Surratt, Jeff Wilson Jr., maybe Stone Blanton, Derek Canteen, Dallas Flowers, William Bradley King, Stone Blanton, Drake Nugent, Nick Zakel, possibly. So, I mean, they cut a bunch of guys yesterday, but then today they're going to bring some of those guys back. And the difference is about 500, 600 grand. I mean, the league minimum is between 750 and 800, I believe. Last I checked, the minimum for the practice squad is like 210 grand. So you're taking a serious haircut. You're still getting paid well, but you're taking, if you're on the roster, you're making almost $1 million. If you're on the practice squad, you're making 200 grand. So,
but you have, you're on the conveyor belt that brings you to the NFL. You'd rather be a practice squad guy than not any day of the week for these guys who are on the edge. It is a nice safety net for them to fall into, and it allows them to, keep on working with an NFL team. It's a good thing. I'm really disappointed that Sebastian Valdez didn't make the roster and then doesn't seem to be in any practice squad plans at all. I mean,
he's just not going to make it through waivers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he will come back. To be honest, Damon, if he makes it through the waivers, I think he will come back to the practice squad, but he's not going to make it through the waivers. I mean, just absolutely no way. No way.
I don't think he is either. And I wanted this guy on the roster. I got that one wrong. The one I didn't get wrong was Chase Lucas. I'm really happy that he made the team. The biggest shocker to me, the one I didn't officially was like, I don't think it's going to happen. And it did. Good for him. Drew Moss has made this team. That I was not expecting that, Larry.
Well, he had a great summer blocking, and when you watch the film, he looks good. I mean, all the people who are just losing their mind about the Niners and their deficiency in rebuilding the offensive line. And it's like, yeah, the Niners basically just told you, look, and it's really interesting to me, Damon, because the Niners have always had this philosophy. And the only difference between old school Niners with their philosophy and the new school Niners with their philosophy is the old school Niners won on Super Bowl Sunday and the new school Niners lose on Super Bowl Sunday. And that's the only difference. McKittrick went with smaller, lighter, more athletic guys. Firster goes with smaller, lighter, more athletic guys. McKittrick rarely, if ever, had a first-round draft choice, only Harris Barton. Firster rarely, if ever, has high draft capital, but he has Trent Williams. In a lot of ways, it's the exact same thing, except McKittrick was hailed as a genius, and people are like, Firster's a jackass. The Niners suck. What's really happened here in 2 short years, last year the Niners drafted Dom Pooney. If they had a redraft, he would have been the first offensive lineman drafted upon the redraft. So they got a great guard last year. And this year, they got a guard and a center, or 2 guards in Moss and Colby. And they're both future starters. So, yeah, do they need a tackle? Yeah. And I'll say this, too. I was looking at the tackle list. I think the Niners' offensive tackles suck. I really do. I think they absolutely stink. I think Burford stinks. I think Pleasant stinks. I don't think either guy can protect Brock Purdy. I think they're both liable to get him killed. If either has to start for more than a day or 2, they'll be cut because they'll just play so poorly that the Niners will just be like, oh, anybody else but them. But there's a couple tackles that were cut yesterday. Javon Foster from Missouri and Esapole, who played at Wazoo, who's a Bay Area kid who went to Chabot. I would definitely bring those guys in for a workout. There were veterans cut too. Lael Collins, Trent Brown,
Dan Skipper,
if you like him, McClendon Curtis, Logan Brown, David Sharp. There's a bunch of guys, Holland Pierce, a couple of the Eagles. But to me, I looked at that list. Javon Foster and Esapole, I think, are better than Austin Pleasance and Spencer Burford. So we'll see. I mean, the Niners love their guys, but man, those guys got abused. I mean, I was standing right there all summer as Bryce Huff just toyed with these offensive tackles and made them look awful.
Yeah.
Made them look. There was one sequence this year where Austin Pleasance was playing right tackle going against Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff came out of his snap, dipped the shoulder, and hit the quarterback. And Pleasance never moved. Yeah. Never freaking moved. So you know what? Those guys can't do it. The Niners are living in denial. Hopefully it doesn't get Purdy killed. There may be a tackle or 2 out there. I don't think so, but it's worth investigating for sure.
Again, I would check out Dan Skipper. The guy is huge. He has played part of the last 7 seasons in Detroit. He's kind of versatile. He can play either spot. He's like your new swing tackle, I think, if you checked him out. By the way, a few people in the chat are saying that Junior Bergen has signed to the practice squad. I feel like that's a waste of a practice squad.
Mike Garafolo.
I think that's a waste of a practice squad spot.
Once again, Niners living in denial. This kid is not special. Nothing special about him. He was a great player at a lower level of play. He couldn't step it up to the higher level. He's not fast. He's not particularly quick. He's not big. So yeah, I agree with you. Waste of a practice squad.
It's a waste of a pick. It was waste of training camp reps, and now it's a waste of a practice squad roster spot. Willie Lampkin is an interesting case. There's a guy that you and I talked a lot about. He was playing some really good undrafted free agent rookie football right until he got hurt for the Rams and had to be shut down. They've put him on waivers. You talk about the unsettled offensive line. Yeah, I don't think I want Willie Lampkin playing tackle, but guard, center, guard, he could play either. So I would take a look at Willie Lampkin today. Again, Dan Skipper is out there in terms of offensive line health. There are two other names that I wouldn't be surprised to see the 49ers take a little bit of a look at. I mean, it's going to be, what are they picking 11th in their waiver claim? They're 11th. Cleveland Farrell is back out there. Cleveland Farrell played some of his best ball with the 49ers and under Chris Kasurek. Maybe if you're looking for more defensive line help, there you go. Cleveland Farrell is there. And Jalen Mills, the corner out of Texas, the Texans, again, he's played over 115 games over the last 9 seasons. He's not young. You're not going to find perfect this time of year, but he's versatile. He's played a lot of different spots, inside, outside. Maybe Jalen Mills would be another good to have that guy on your roster in case you need him type of corner. What do you think of him maybe being talked about today down in Santa Clara?
You know, I don't think much of him, but there are a lot of corners that, believe it or not, are out there, including Ambry Thomas, if you wanted to go Ambry Thomas, including Samuel Womack. You know, I thought that was kind of an interesting one. Womack had a nice little roll going with the Colts, but he got cut yesterday. So the corners that stood out to me when I was going through, and I went through every team's list with a fine-tooth comb last night. Carlin Vigors, Ambry Thomas, Keith Taylor, Kobe Bryant, Mello Dotson, Mike Hilton, Beanie Bishop, Deshaun Jameson, Damon Arnett, who the Niners tried to get before camp and they couldn't. He's out there. Juju Brent, Samuel Womack III, and Triquise Bridges are the corners that I kind of like. You know, we'll see about, you know, I was glad they kept Luter, because Luter is a big-bodied corner with a lot of talent. And, you know, I said it a million times that, you know, those guys are rare and they get picked off waivers. And I was glad that they protected him. I really want to see them I don't really care about these guys as much. Beanie Bishop would be great. Kobe Bryant would be great. But, you know, you got a pretty good one in Dallas Flowers. And I was kind of surprised he didn't make it, but I think it's just because they realized, you know, they're just kind of debating who's going to get through waivers and who isn't. Flowers is torn his Achilles. He's been a veteran. He's been around. He was with Gus Bradley last year with the Colts. Gus brought him here. He's had a good summer. I think they'll re-sign him today.
By the way, people are saying on the chat, again, Valdez has cleared waivers. Sebastian Valdez did clear waivers.
Yes.
49ers. Good. Get him back.
What do you mean? Are you talking about Valdez? Who are you talking about?
Sebastian Valdez.
Oh, Sebastian Valdez. Oh, I think you meant Valdez-Scantling.
Valdez-Scantling. We got double Valdez's now, Larry.
Sebastian Valdez. Well, then that's great news.
That is great news.
And the gamble that they took was an educated gamble, and they knew more than us. So credit them. But I was surprised by that. I really was. But you know what? All the better, right? I mean, I look at it this way. To me, there's the Niners have two major problems today. And they're already on the path to trying to solve their major problems. One was wide receiver, right? Because you just don't have any. Even though you got a bunch of wide receivers, you really only have like 2 that are ready to roll. So maybe 3. So, wide receiver, major need. The other one was defensive end. I mean, if you look at the Niners depth chart, their defensive ends have all been hurt for the most part. And that's a concern. So, you have Bosa, but Bosa had, injuries this summer. Mikael Williams barely practiced this summer. Yatir Gross-Matos has not practiced yet. He was activated. Beal has been hurt a lot. Aquinu has been hurt a lot. I mean, they don't have a lot of defensive ends. Now, Trevis Gibson sounds like is going to be re-signed to the practice squad, but there's other guys. Mo Kamara, Kamon Rucker, Isaiah Foskey, Jamin Davis. These guys are all out there defensive ends. To me, I think they could probably use those are the 2 spots that I'm concerned about. Wide receiver.
Cleveland Farrell, go get him. Because what do we know?
Farrell. I'm not. Cleveland Farrell's had injuries. He's older. He's slower.
They're familiar with him, and that matters to them. Clearly, if you wore a Niner uniform once, you can wear it again. Like, that's the way that this front office is operating. They'd rather lean into something they know than explore the unknown.
Yeah, I think he's washed, to be honest. I mean, that's the other thing about football. It's like it happens fast. So it's like here's the downside of the Niners approach. This whole like, let's let the coaches have tons of say. Let's not listen to our scouting department as much as let's listen to our coaching staff. Let's let our coaches have tons of say. Coaches are about the moment. Coaches are about, hey, let me get Junior Bergen because maybe he can help me on special teams. When the scouts are colder and are like, hey, let's just get the best player, and we don't care about your little games or your contract status or your personal status. I just get the feeling look at the Niners this summer. All of these guys are like, these are not new evaluations. These are evaluations that were done in the past. And it's like, do you have any new tricks, or is it all just guys you used to like? Guys, because you've brought in 15 different guys that you used to have. I mean, why don't you bring in, since your team is in a rebuild and you're going forward, you're trying to rebuild the thing, why don't you actually commit to the rebuild and get some scouts who actually know the talent and go get some of the younger talent out there? Because I guarantee you, the younger talent's going to be better than the picked over Kendrick Bournes of the world. The Niners are hot to trot for Kendrick Bourne. He ripped out his ACL a year ago, and he's a shadow of the player that he used to be. But his name is still Kendrick Bourne, and they're still living in the past. And I feel like their scouting department is living in the past. It's like, how many old has-been guys can you bring in because you know them and Kyle knows them? How about let's bring in some guys that Kyle doesn't know that actually can fucking play? How about that?
It's kind of like the Brian Sabian at the very end, where he's signing like the 1997 All-Star team over and over again. It's like, dude, that was a long time ago, Brian. We need to move on with new talent. And this is
Malik Turner and all these guys, Isaiah Hodgins, Russell Gage, Robbie Chosen. They've literally signed 12 or 13 different guys that they used to have that they're trying to bring back. And for what? Go look for younger, better players than the guys you got. Go get Willie Lampkin. Go get Mario Williams. Go get Isaiah Badger. Go get some young players with a future instead of old, broken down players. Because you know what? The old coach said to me, and he's totally right. He's like, Larry, you know what? Larry, let me tell you, boy. You come into this league, you make a name for yourself. By the time you're ready to be kicked out of this league, all you got on the back of that is that jersey, and the back of your name on the back of that jersey. It don't mean nothing no more. In other words, guess what? Everybody gets old. Yep. And the guy that you liked 3 years ago, Kendrick Bourne and MVS 3 years ago, probably weren't bad pickups. Today, they're just totally forgettable garbage.
Hey, by the way, 3 years ago is when you said, we've seen enough, and you walked away. If you think there's been marked improvement as time marches on, you probably got another thing coming. That's the
Niners are old home week. Every one of their bad executives that gets fired gets rehired. Every one of their crappy coaches that gets fired gets rehired. They got a warm spot for everybody. Their problem is they're too damn warm. That's the problem. The best personnel people are cold and they're warm. Lynch is warm, Shanahan's warm, and the best personnel people are cold. Stop bringing back the Robbie Chosens of the world. Stop having a warm spot for the Nick Sorensens of the world, and get better. Get better. Get better coaches, younger players, and let's keep this thing moving down the tracks. And instead of like you have made it's like they made personnel evaluations in 2013, 2014, 2015, and they're like, we'll just lean on that.
Well, another thing too is when you pick a direction, you might as well keep going in that direction. The 49ers have gone very much out of their way to flush either having it right now, or it's certainly going to land on top of you like a piano age problem. And the 49ers did address their age problem quite a bit this offseason and through the young guys who made this team. So why would you then dip back into old has-beens at this point in time when you got another direction to go in? I saw this from Josh Dubow, who I know you and I both really admire. The guy comes up with all sorts of interesting stats. The 49ers currently have 10 rookies on this 53-man roster. That's the most rookies who have played for the Niners in week one since the merger. Larry, this is a team that did commit to getting younger. So now don't go back to your Kendrick Bournes now. That to me is the mistake. Don't go back to a not going back to him, but don't go to a Marquez Valdes-Scantling when Malachi Corley is out there. Now, I understand. I'm also the guy.
Right. Coach him up. What are these coaches making millions of dollars for? You got 15 different coaches. Have them coach these guys up. I mean, if everybody's a finished product, you lucked out with Brock Purdy. You got a very finished product quarterback. You didn't have to coach him up that much. He's pretty polished, pretty ready. Okay. You're going to have to coach up some of these guys. This just in. You're going to have to coach. You're going to have to actually earn your money. Coach.
They carried 12 and 78, 11 and 81, 11 and 79, 10 and 2001, 9 in 2017. That's Kyle Shanahan, and 9 in 1999. So an awful lot of youth movement is going to be felt on this roster, and I guess I understand have some veterans to balance that out. I think you got enough in-house veterans. And I understand I'm also the guy who's been screaming Keenan Allen, and he does not fit the description of young. I get it. But I just thought
it's actually more than 10, really, Damon. If you look at the numbers, I mean, I don't know what list you're looking at, but I mean, these are the rookies on the team this year.
I just saw it from Dubois.
Yeah, these are the rookies that are going to be on the team, whether they're on the team this second or not. Here are their legitimate rookies this year: Jordan Watkins, Connor Colby, Drew Moss, Curtis Rourke, your guy, the Maple Missile, Jordan James. Right, so you got 5 on offense. We won't include the practice squad guys. Then on defense, you got McKell, Siegel, Stout, Martin, Collins, and West. That's 11. Now you're saying Valdez maybe is back. He'll be on the active roster at some point. That would be 12. And then you got practice squad guys. So, yeah, I mean, this is potentially John Lynch's 86 volume draft. And what followed, and what did the Niners get in that 86 draft? Walsh got a Hall of Famer in Haley, and they got 8 starters. But if the Niners could come away with 12 guys that are part of their core going forward, then it'll be really interesting to chart their success in the next 3 to 5 years, because the Niners, after that 86 draft, had the most successful run in the history of their franchise. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. That's the greatest run of the Niners, and it's the greatest run in the history of the Niners. And it was all fueled by Jerry Rice in 85 and the volume draft of 86. So with Haley as the Hall of Famer. So I don't know if there's a Hall of Famer in this draft, though I do think Nick Martin looks very, very special. But they got a bunch of starters, and this could be their volume draft and really lay the foundation for success in the NFC for the next 4 or 5 years. I think it could happen.
Larry, apparently the 49ers just put in a waiver claim with the Jacksonville Jaguars and have acquired defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson, who played at LSU and was a 4th-round pick in just 2024. Jordan Jefferson's season with the Jaguars, he played in 8 games, appeared in 12, 5 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles, a sack. I'm not going to pretend that I have any commanding knowledge of Jordan Jefferson since he was a draft pick we were talking about at LSU. I didn't think about him once last year. And
big boy. If this is the guy, let me just double check this. I think is this guy related to Justin?
I don't know if he is. He's definitely the big brother in terms of size.
They had I think there was the LSU's had multiple Jordan Jeffersons because they had a Jordan Jefferson quarterback. This guy is old. This guy is 35 years old.
Oh, so right? This isn't the Jordan Jefferson who is the young man on the Jaguars roster. Did I click on the wrong Jordan Jefferson? Pardon me.
Yes, I'm looking at the wrong Jordan Jefferson. Yeah, as I said, there's 2 Jordan Jeffersons that played at LSU. There's Jordan Jefferson LSU former quarterback, and that I believe is the brother of Justin Jefferson.
No, the Niners aren't putting in waiver claims on rookie or failed quarterbers right now. So
yeah, this is a jumbo defensive tackle. I'll tell you a little bit about him real quick here. He's from Navarre, Florida. He's 6'3", 313 pounds. So big boy. 31-inch vertical. Started at West Virginia, transferred. Yeah, I mean, nothing. I don't know a lot
There's
about.
Not a lot to tell other than the 49ers.
They say he's got a cat quick first step. He's got lateral footwork. Jaguars above average movement ability. Has to get off to become more of a productive rusher with work. His negatives, his technique and his footwork are lacking. And he allows blockers to crowd his chest, needs to do a better job of leveraging his run fits. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a big body up front. I mean, that's a concern. I mean, the 49ers, to me, if you said, what are their big concerns? It's wide receivers because they don't have any and like who's healthy and, that kind of thing. And then it's defensive line, their defensive line. One of the things that I noticed this week that the Niners were at practice working with a 5-man front. So I think they're keenly aware that week 1, Seattle, who's been running the hell out of it in the summer, are going to try to run it down their throat and just say, you know what, Sam Darnold, throw it 15 times and let's run it 40 times and let's gut the 49ers and their new defensive players and their rookies up front and this and that. We'll gut them with Gray Zabel and our redone offensive line, and we'll run it down their throat. I think the Niners are understanding that could be their reality week 1, and they've been practicing a 5-man front with a 5-man surface with Bosa and Huff off the edges and 3 down linemen, kind of almost the look of a 3-4 defense.
I don't, and here's the thing. I don't think that this is any indictment on Alfred Collins or CJ West or anything like that. I think this is just another body that, again, they need. You need defensive tackles. I mean, the minute somebody goes down with an ankle, a knee, you can't have enough down linemen. By the way, I saw
there
this.
Could be an injury also. Anytime you see this, Damon, this late, anytime you see a move this late and it doesn't seem like it makes sense, Givens is already out. West is coming back from the hyperextended knee. Collins is a young guy. Maybe there's injuries there with Jordan Elliott that we're not aware of. That could be a factor here.
Michael Williams, when will we get to know you and whether or not you can actually play in this league? There is no number 1 pick in 49ers history who has had no one's even worried about, like, even though there's reason to be worried, there's nobody's talking about Michael Williams. Nobody is like worried that one way or the other. It's like the Niners never even added him. It's like he's not even on the team. He's not even being discussed. He's the most under the radar first overall pick by the 49ers since, I don't know, Shiloh Rashal, because nobody gave a shit back then. I mean, it's something else. So hopefully he impresses when he's out there quickly. By the way, so this
he's looked good. I mean, let's give Mikel his. First of all, he's a hard worker. He badly wants it. You can tell he's a good guy, right?
Yep.
He's a hardworking guy. And right now, Damon, I think their best plan, and it's really kind of an interesting thing. I think if you made him rush opposite Nick Bosa, I think he would get stonewalled and struggle and not do much. But if you can put Huff on the field and let Mikel operate inside against the guard, you might be able to create some jailbreak on the quarterback that is going to be exciting to watch because he is a very, very dangerous interior rusher.
Yeah, he can rush inside. Maybe, it's funny. You hear he sets the edge, but he's a really good interior rusher. Well, those are 2 different directions. So which way you sending him? How he is used by Kasurek and Saleh will be fascinating. Sack distribution just across this defensive line. Eric Branch had this one. I thought this was interesting. Career sacks for Nick Bosa, 62.5. Career sacks for the other 10 defensive linemen on this initial 53-man roster is 48.5. So if the whole point was these guys are going to spring Nick Bosa, I don't know if we're there yet. Hopefully Nick Bosa can help these guys get sprung a little bit because you still got to be focused on Bosa more than anybody else. You know, until Alfred Collins is out there gobbling up double teams because he's that much of a hoss, they're going to be double teaming Nick Bosa until somebody gives them a reason not to. So we'll see who that somebody is. I think it's going to be CJ West. I think CJ West is going to be one of the reasons why you can't double team Nick Bosa. I'm excited.
Eventually. I mean, you know, CJ West is going to be really good. There's no question about that. You know, he's really good.
I keep on asking myself, do I feel this way because he went to Indiana and I'm just excited about Indiana football for the first time legitimately in my entire life? Or am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Am I seeing am I optical illusioning myself here? I don't think I am. I think CJ West is the real freaking deal, man. I really
there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt he's the real deal. He, you know, now he's limited in that he's 6'1", 320. You know, he's not, you know, he doesn't have the biggest body. So, you know, he's there's certain spots he's going to be lacking in. But I mean, the strength, the power, I mean, he's really, really good. He's really good. Whether he plays every down or plays in a rotation, he's really good.
I think Larry and I are both giving an official meh reaction to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'm going to call him Sky Moore on steroids. Okay, that was the big move for the 49ers today. We'll see what happens along this waiver wire. It looks like Sebastian Valdez has cleared waivers. He will be on this team's practice squad. That, in my mind, is good news. Again, the good news of Chase Lucas, that made me a little bit happy. I got a few positive things here, Larry. I know we've been a little negative. Time to get rid of the negativity. Week one's on around the corner. So here are some positives, okay? I mean, what can you take away from a first impression at a press conference? You probably shouldn't fall in love, but I like when a guy steps up and shows, I'm a pro, I belong. I really liked every single thing that Brian Robinson said in that press conference, where he's not coming here to concede a single thing to Christian McCaffrey, but wants to be a great teammate and understands his role and understands how the Niners universe works, says that they're going to be the best running back tandem in the NFL. Both of them stay healthy. That might not be too far from the actual truth. This is a pretty good 1-2 punch. You know, frustrations about Garendo aside. I really liked his plug and play attitude. Larry, I thought he crushed his initial press conference. I really did. I also heard your questions too. Nice job.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that was clear is that, you know, he ain't nobody's backup.
Right.
You know, it's like, and all these questions are like, hey, you know, are you going to be able to compliment Christian and this and that? And I loved it. It's like, he's like, hey man, I don't know about, you know, nothing against Christian and all, but I'm here to play.
Right.
And at one point he said, I'm
myself.
I'm plug and play. He said, I'm plug and play. So, yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to have a really good RB2, you really got to shop in the RB1 aisle. Yeah. And that's what the Niners did. You know, they were looking at Garendo. Garendo just, you know, Garendo's always going to be what Garendo is, which is intriguing and big and fast, but also perplexing and inconsistent and injury prone. I think he's already kind of shown us what he is. Robinson runs upright. He's going to take some hits, but he's going to take that load off of McCaffrey. So I really love it. I think he can catch the ball too.
He's got to be, here's the thing. He's got to be good enough to have Shanahan believe I don't lose anything with him out here. One of the biggest, I'm going to lose this if McCaffrey's not out here, is that backfield pass catching threat. Robinson, I think, ticks that box. So it's going to allow Shanahan to see a world without Christian McCaffrey in moments that aren't high leverage moments of a football game. And that needs to be part of this entire season success model. The 49ers, no matter how many games they're winning, cannot be successful if Christian McCaffrey is pounded into paste by not just the defenses he's playing, but the way that Shanahan is using him. So hopefully Brian Robinson will create a comfortable situation for Shanahan to go away from his pet project of Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
it's like, he's the player. You're the coach, you know, don't forget that. Right. You know, we've managed Christian. You don't manage Christian. He manages you. What are you talking about? You manage Christian. He does whatever he fucking wants. Run Robinson from time to time. Don't let McCaffrey just dictate to you. If you have a lead over the Carolina Panthers with 10 minutes to play, You got a whole nother game next week. Run somebody that's not named Christian McCaffrey to finish out the game. You got a 10-point lead. Run somebody else. They miss Elijah Mitchell. By the way, I think I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Look at this.
What?
The Eagles have claimed Willie Lampkin.
What do they know about offensive line play? What do the Eagles know about putting together a good offensive line?
Just unbelievable.
The rich get richer, Larry. The rich get richer.
Jesus. That hurts. That hurts. Willie Lampkin to the best offensive line in pro football.
Don't need him. Don't need him. Okay. So now
good speed has his funny glasses. He says, yesterday Larry was crying over Valdez's loss. Now it's meh. Laughing my ass off. No, it's not. What's meh? No, I'm glad that he's back. I'm just saying that to me, it's amazing that he get cleared waivers when he had this kind of preseason that he had. No, I'm glad that he's back. And I wasn't crying about it yesterday, by the way.
Just remember, Damon told you about him first.
Told us about who first?
Oh, dude, Sebastian Valdez. First day I went down to training camp, I'm like, Larry, I got my don't deserve to have it, but I have it anyways. Crush on a guy. It's number 55. Remember, we didn't even get his name right the first time we were talking. We were like,
dude, I did a video. I did a 12-minute video on how great he was a month before that.
Sebastian Marquez. We were screwing up his name, but really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I'm glad that he made the roster. Well, it's back for the practice squad, anyways. The other bit of positivity, right? And we got anxiety. We got, don't like this, don't like that. Did you see what ESPN came out with the "Don't be surprised if your team blank" column for every NFL team? Don't be surprised if the 49ers ... Don't be surprised if the Steelers ... And it's that for every other team. Are you ready to hear what Dan Graziano's "Don't be surprised" for the 49ers is?
Sure.
Don't be surprised if the 49ers end up back in the Super Bowl. What I'm hearing, good things. I don't understand why so many people are sleeping on the 49ers, writes Graziano, who were in the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago and saw 2024 disintegrate because of injuries. They lost some guys this offseason, sure, but they still have McCaffrey, Williams, Kittle, Bosa, Fred Warner, and I could go on, but you get the idea. There is an awful lot of talent. At this stage in their careers, McCaffrey and Williams particularly have to be considered injury risks, but if they stay healthy, there's no reason that this can't be an elite offense for Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall, the team's 2024 first-round pick who was recovering from a gunshot wound at the start of last season. He appears to be poised to take on the leading role while Jauan Jennings figures out his calf/contract and Brandon Ayuk works his way back from knee surgery. This team has a good chance to bounce all the way back to being one of the best, if not the best, in the NFC. Larry Krueger, especially against a schedule that includes just 4 games against teams that made the playoffs last season. So how about that? Okay, maybe we're so deep in the forest, we can't see through the trees sometimes, and we are complaining about things granularly. But when you look at the beach, the entire beach, just not the grains of sand that the 49ers are laying on, it's pretty good. Now, I think another thing that's making people a little scared here is what
does Dan Graziano know about it?
Well, Dan Graziano is a pretty good guy. I mean, I think
what does he know about it? Why would I defer to a guy who hasn't been at practice all year when I've been standing there watching it myself? Enough.
But here's the thing. Do you disagree? Is it completely?
No, they got a shot. They got a shot.
They got a shot. So there it is. I think that's a legit thing. And this is the biggest.
But it's easy to say.
If they stay healthy, who knows what could happen? I do know that we haven't even seen the 49ers and what they really are going to look like yet, but for moments where we saw the ones in practice and training camp, because they haven't been out there in the preseason. So, the impression that we've got from the actual football we've seen with our own 2 eyes, that's not who they are yet. And I don't know, like they got a really challenging week 1. If they can go up to Seattle and take one, start 1-0, it's just going to make it's just going to calm the goddamn machine down a little bit. And that's what the machine needs. It needs to be calmed down a little.
I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know what machine. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just the Niners anxiety and half the fan base, still living in a world of Brock Purdy sucks and fire Kyle Shanahan.
Well, I don't. I mean, I haven't heard that. I mean, maybe I'm not reading that. I'm not seeing that. I haven't seen anybody tear into Brock Purdy this summer. I haven't read any article that says that Brock Purdy's not good enough or that he's the reason they're going to fall short or anything. I just think, they got a shot. They got a lot of great players. But they also have a lot of young players. They had a really bad special teams. Are they better? Is their receiving core better? Is their offensive line any better? I think Brock is better. Brock is definitely better. But then if you don't give him any receivers, that can be very challenging. So we'll see. I mean, I like what I've seen from Brock Purdy, but I can't be overly optimistic about a team that your number one receiver has played 2 freaking games that are good. 2. That's your number one receiver. And your number 2 receiver is Sky Moore. So sorry if I'm a little on the pessimistic side, but I mean, that's not championship caliber. They're not. I mean, the Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and all kinds of dudes. It's like,
and Willie Lampkin.
And Willie Lampkin, and a killer defense, and a good special teams. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm not rooting against them. I can envision a scenario that they're having a good year, but I can also envision a scenario that they fucking suck and that they win. I mean, the Niners have been the most injured team in pro football 2 times in the last 5 years. Both times they won 6 games. They've started this year by being the most injured team in the preseason. If it continues, they're going to win 6 games. If it doesn't, they got a chance to win 10, 11, 12 games. And if I had to wager, I'd say they go 10-6. They get to the playoffs. They win a playoff game. That's where I'd put my money.
Well, first of all, you need to either go 11-6 or 10-7.
Yeah,
17 games.
And we go 10-7.
I think they're an 11-win team against this schedule. I really do. I think even if the wheels come off from an injury standpoint, they're gonna get to 10 wins in this against this schedule. They just have to. And if they don't,
you would think.
If they don't, it will officially be time to talk about regime change. This is a huge fork.
Do they have to go to the playoffs?
Yes.
So it's if they don't go to the playoffs, and Joe's like, who pissed in Larry's coffee today? No, Larry's just a realist. And I don't do fanboy media. There's other people out there that do fanboy, and I would suggest you leave this stream and go watch their streams, and you can listen to them jerk each other off. But other than that, I bring it straight. I deliver it straight. I'm real. And I think they got a shot. But they're not like a favorite. They shouldn't be the favorite. I don't think.
They're among the favorites in the NFC right now as the day stands. They are. They're among the betting favorites.
Are they as good as Philly? Are they as good as Detroit?
How about this?
Are they as good as Tampa? Are they as good as the Rams?
Stepping on the field today, healthy against any of them, they got as much of a puncher's chance against them as any team in football could claim to have. I think the 49ers are on the top tier of competitive ability in this league and will remain there until another catastrophic collection of injuries just insists they leave the conversation. I like the Niners this year. I do. And I'm no fanboy. Not at all. Against this schedule, again, if they do not appear in the playoffs this year, I'm not saying that I would then say, well, Kyle Shanahan's forgotten how to coach and he doesn't know the guy. But at that point, you have to say, has he run out of ideas here? Is it time to change the voice here? Shanahan is not the only qualified person to be the head coach of the 49ers walking the planet. So, this is a monster year for him and Lynch. It is.
No doubt. I mean, I want to pick the Niners every year because I don't want to invest this much time covering a team that I don't think has a chance. So my natural inclination is to want to pick them. But then you look at this team and you say, they don't look good in the summer, and they haven't looked good. They can barely field a team for practice. Their offensive line is not one of the NFL's better offensive lines. They don't have any receivers. I mean, your number one receiver is Ricky Pearsall. Okay, you don't have any receivers that are proven that are good. Other teams do. I mean, where's the Niners' Amon-Ra? They don't have one. They just don't have one. So I'm worried about the fact that their line doesn't seem very good, that Christian is older, and that their receiving core is non-existent, and they've got a ton of new faces on defense, and it's like the coverage of the Niners is so glazing that even Lynch and Shanahan, the guys who should be, hey, believe in us, are literally like, pump the brakes. I mean, they didn't say pump the brakes, but John Lynch is like, hey, we're going to take our lumps. All right. We're going to take some lumps early on. Shanahan's like, hey, you know what? We just hope we can get to the playoffs. They're not saying we got an easy schedule. We're going to win 12 games. If anything, they're trying, based on what they're saying, they sound like they don't believe and that they're trying to temper expectations, that they're trying to prepare us for what's going to happen this year, and that we're all too enthusiastic, and that who says that? Who does that? What coach and GM are like, hey, you know what? Yes, we're one of the favorites this year, and we got the easiest schedule in the last 15 years in the NFL. But Shanahan's like, we got 5 or 6 really good players at the top, and then we got a lot of young players, and Lynch is like, we're going to take our lumps. Well,
I think that's
we're not listening to them. We don't want to listen to them, but we need to listen to them. They're telling us to our face that they have reservations about this year.
The 49ers,
and they've told us that. Damon, sorry to interrupt, but they also told us that by what they're spending or not spending. They didn't go after Keenan Allen. You were begging for it. They didn't go after Amari Cooper until it was the 11th hour and offered too little. They're not armed with money. They're not spending money. This is a team that's trying to win the Super Bowl with $100 million of dead money while carrying $40 million plus of cap room into next year. So it's not really set up when you look at those factors for them to have this big year. So, you know what I mean? I think how can you analyze the Niners this year and not be like $100 million of dead money, and you want to carry over roughly 40 or 45 million for next year so you can pay Brock's expenses? That makes it really hard to compete when you have that much dead money and that much money that you want to roll over. It almost seems like they're just trying to do it this year with their arm tied behind their back. We'll go super young. We'll bring in Saleh. We'll see what we can do. Even Saleh the other day was like, yeah, Gus said to me, Gus Bradley, he's talking about, I asked him about Trevis Gibson, and he goes, you know what? Gus said to me, yeah, there could be some good that comes out of all this. And it's like, what is all this? And what he means is this fucking rebuild, because that's what this is. They signed up for a rebuild, and they're rebuilding, and something good could come out of this is that they discovered Trevis Gibson along the way. All I'm saying is I think if we listen to them, they're telling us they don't think they're going to be very good.
I think the rebuild was partially necessary. So, I endorse it.
Yeah.
I think that looking at this as the first of a 3-year window to try and get one more is probably the right way to go about it. As we said, more rookies being filtered through the 49ers since any season since the merger. And this will be a better football team in November than it will be in September. These guys are going to get their sea legs underneath them. These young guys do have talent, but it's going to take a minute to feel and understand this league. I like the Niners, Larry. I do. You're right. There's a lot of reasons to be worried and apprehensive, but I like the Niners.
Well, I mean, here's an example.
Against the schedule, I like the Niners based on the fact that what we've seen this summer isn't even the Niners. We haven't even seen them. Like, I'm not going to worry about, the Niners don't look good when we haven't even seen the Niners yet.
Yeah, but no, because that means that they haven't looked good because they're paper thin. Because as soon as like there's 4 or 5 guys out, suddenly it's just Robbie Chosen.
They went 2-1. They went 2-1. I mean, that's the thing. Paper thin, 2-1.
2-1 where? What? What's 2-1?
Their preseason record.
Who cares? They went 2-1. Are you kidding me?
You're trying.
Are you quoting me preseason records?
You just said.
You know who went 0-3? Kansas City.
Right, but so what is it? Did you like that preseason or did you not like the preseason?
No, I'm just saying the record means nothing. The record,
right. And the reason why the record means nothing is because the guys who are out there will mean nothing once the regular season starts. We haven't even seen the Niners yet.
But the record means nothing. But the fact that I'm at practice and Robbie Chosen is leading the wide receiver drill tells you that they don't have anybody. I mean, it's Ricky and Robbie, at the first line of your receivers. So here's the one thing that can't be forgotten. Here's the one thing that can't be forgotten. John Lynch is a great player. Great player. Hall of Famer, right? Great player. John Lynch started 4 games his rookie year. He made 13 tackles. John Lynch started only like 5 or 6 games his second year and made 15 tackles. John Lynch hadn't made even 50 tackles by the time he got to year 3. So I think we all just need to dial it way down as far as our expectations on the rookies, because the rookies, I love CJ West. Doesn't mean it's going to be right now.
You will have growing pains. Yeah. They're coming.
Nick Martin, they're all up and stout there. And what do rookies typically give you? What John gave his team, like 4 or 5 games. They give you 4 or 5 games. If they're really good, maybe you get 10. The rookie that goes, hey man, plug and play, start to finish, it hardly ever happens. The Niners need it to happen like 4 times for them to really fulfill their the desire of the fan base to get to the Super Bowl. It probably has to happen like 3 or 4 times. The odds of that are really, really low. So I like the draft, the preseason, whatever, but it's the story this year is that they can't even get through. They barely could get through joint practices because they just don't have enough guys. So, and they've shuttling through all these kind of, scrubs and guys that they used to know and used to like and this and that. And they'll be fine if they have good injury luck. But if they have bad injury luck at all, or even mediocre, it's going to be a struggle.
Yep. And, I think every NFL team sits in that boat.
I mean, some are deeper than others, right?
Sure.
I mean, the Eagles just signed Willie Lampkin. Eagles already had a great offensive line, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm hopeful, but man, if I would feel better if the core great players that they have were if this were 2 years earlier, because it just seems like Trent, Kittle, Bosa, CMC, Fred, they're all in the twilight of prime. They're in their prime, but they're in the twilight of it.
Closer to the end of their prime than the beginning of it.
Yeah. So that's a concern.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the world that you and I both live in, Larry, too. We're still in our prime, probably closer to the end of it than the beginning of it. We got 18 supers in here. Shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Ernberg, this signing shows this season is a throwaway. I love the negativity. James Foster, so Robbie was not chosen by the Niners? We'll see. I mean, I think Robbie Chosen is going to probably wind up on the practice squad. Vince Vargas, 49ers should go after Nick Nash. Worth a look. He was cut yesterday by the Falcons.
Yeah.
How about that? Joseph Ernberg, I'm on the Keenan Allen train with Damon. What the fuck, John L? John Lynch. I got you. Fuji Simeon, will there be a bottom of the pint Friday, Larry? Maybe. Yeah,
the Giants only got 30 games left in their season.
It's tough watch right there.
It is.
I mean, sometimes I'll be flipping around on YouTube and I'll see Coach Emilio doing a post game on a Giant game, and then I'll like go to the box score, and the Giants had like literally like
hits.
5 base runners and 3 hits and 1 run. It's like, dude, what are you going to talk about for the whole time? It's like, it's just baseball, the Giants right now.
I'll say this: Justin Verlander finally gets to go home to Kate Upton one night and say, "Honey, I did it. I finally won at this damn ballpark. It finally happened to me. I never did it in an opposing uniform, and I never did it in a home uniform until last night. And unfortunately, I'm wearing a Giants uniform that's got so much stupid purple on it that I can't even really feel good about that."
In April or in March, I was like, "Hey, I think Justin Verlander can win 15 games."
Great idea.
Not so much.
How about this? With the lineup behind him, he's won at least 8 to 10 games. I mean, Verlander, for a bad record, his ERA isn't the worst thing you've ever seen. He's got a 1.44 whip.
It's a good thing YouTube channels are not funded on correct predictions. Fuji Simeon, college football week 1 kickoff, then the NFL next week.
It's a good time. It's a good time of the year.
Thomas Selman, good afternoon. I'm up. I'd trade Jennings and get Corley. He signed a deal last season. Thanks, guys. Always love watching my lunch break on my lunch.
Thank you very much. Thomas must be on the East Coast.
There you go.
Thank you, Thomas, for watching. Appreciate it. Look, Malachi Corley is a guy that we talked to death ahead of the draft. And now he's available, and Robert Saleh obviously thinks something of him. They were together in New York. I wonder if Saleh is saying, like, go get a Malachi Corley, or maybe Robert Saleh is saying, don't bother with Malachi Corley. I was there and didn't see enough.
I mean, it's not his area, right? It's Shanahan's area, it's somebody else's area. And Robert Saleh could love Malachi Corley, but if Shanahan doesn't want to coach and he just wants to have guys that are already kind of finished products and he just wants I get the feeling that Shanahan really doesn't, he wants to sequence plays and call plays and coach the football team, but he doesn't really want to bring any young player really along. As far as wide receiver. So, I mean, that's why you're seeing Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That's why they're going to go after old, tired, broken down Kendrick Bourne, because the Mario Williams of the world are going to take some tutelage. The Elijah Badgers of the world are going to take some coaching.
Well, again, if you're telling me the coach doesn't want to coach the players, we got a whole other problem that I wasn't even factoring. I wasn't.
Some guys, go look at Mike Shanahan. Name me the young quarterback that Mike Shanahan developed. And I'll wait for the young quarterback that Kyle's developed. Ben says,
Brock Purdy.
He was developed when he got here. He was good immediately. He was good the first game he ever played. I mean, he's helped him. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he was developed. Matt Campbell developed him. Ben Diesel, I think Shanahan and Lynch made a mistake by cutting Valdez. No, they didn't, because they got him back.
He did clear waivers.
He cleared waivers, and he's back. Fuji Simeon, how much leeway does Moody have this season? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I'll give you my Moody stat, and I think this is accurate. Jake Moody, listen to this. He is 16 of 29 on field goals of 40 plus yards over the last 2 seasons. 16 of 29, 40 plus.
For a guy who's known for his big leg, shouldn't that be a tad better?
That's a low percentage, man. That's a low percentage. As far as the answer to that question, what do you think, Damon? How many implosions, how many games can Jake cost the Niners before Lynch and Shanahan say, you know what? We're going to cut this guy, and we're never, ever, 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 ever again going to use a 3rd-round draft choice on a kicker. How many losses before they're making that declaration to themselves?
I mean, I think they're almost pot committed. Like once you start down the path of this guy, you better dance with the girl you brung to the dance, man. And they brought this guy to the dance, so he's yours. Another option is available. What are you going to do? You actually want to see his confidence fully disintegrate before you make a decision? Is that what you're waiting on? At the point,
it is awkward though.
It is a little awkward.
Mayoko's like, hey, what do you think of the kicker? And Kyle's like, I think the kicker had the best kicking performance I've ever seen.
Like, really? Better than
Vinatieri in the snow against the Raiders.
That works.
Better than Vinatieri in Foxborough. That the shank 26-yarder that went in anyway. Thomas Selman signed back Cleve Farrell. We won a state title in Virginia. Okay, maybe
there you go. Oh, so Thomas is on the East Coast. There you go, Virginia.
There you go. Clarence Beeks in the house. Great signing. Now do it 4 more times.
Thank you, Clarence. Look at that, 17 months of membership over here. Thank you very much, Clarence.
Baby Radiance. I would use CMC and Robinson the way the Lions run.
I think he's at the ball.
Oh, run the ball. Oh, I wouldn't thought that was initials for somebody.
A true compliment. Yeah, that's the thing. You have one running back. You got 2. You use them both.
Yeah, I mean, you have Gibbs and Montgomery in Detroit, and here you've got CMC and Robinson. I think you're probably going to see, one thing that we've talked about a lot, and the Niners never do, ever. They don't use Christian flexed out as a receiver. Ever.
I think they will. I mean, that's the thing. It's time for them to do that. It's time for them to run more 2-minute drill. It's time for them to play a little bit faster at times. It's time for Shanahan's offense to evolve a little. It became predictable. Look at it this way. Last year, if Deebo Samuel was in the backfield, the ball was going to Deebo Samuel every single time, and everybody in the NFL knew it. And Kyle kept on trying to make it happen, and it didn't. So
2.5 yards a carry.
I thought coaching writer's block was the right way to describe what Kyle was going through last year. And he needs to be through with that writer's block. I want to see some new shit. I want to see some new shit.
Amen. Amen to that. And here's why. Because if you have set philosophies and everybody knows what they are, you become very predictable.
Well, and Kyle is the most studied coach in the NFL. I mean,
most studied coach.
One of the reasons why everyone who thinks Kyle sucks, get him out of here, is wrong is because the entire NFL studies him and how he does it and this running game. And so there's no surprises left in the way that the 49ers go about their business. They got 9 years of game tape on this dude. So
all the more reason mix it up a little bit. All the more reason to change it up. Now they do change it up a little bit. I mean, last year they went less play action and that kind of thing. But
that's like going away from a strength. That of all the things to do, that was probably the worst.
But here's the bottom line on it. When teams aren't honoring your play action, you're just really giving them an extra second to get to the quarterback. You're like messing around with a fake that they're not honoring. And then all of a sudden they're just living in the backfield. So I don't know if he definitely needs to evolve. And if he doesn't want to evolve, then he's got to give the reins of the play calling from time to time to Kubiak to throw people off his scent a little bit.
Yes.
Otherwise, I bet you anything. There's a bunch of defensive coordinators walking around going, I know exactly what Kyle Shanahan's going to do, because he to me, he seems very, very, predictable in what he's going to do. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it seems like. And this whole idea that you always want to run the game the same way, you always want to get the ball, you always defer to the second half. It's like, so there's no scenario that you want the ball first. It's always this game of let's try to score and score again. And what if the sequencing doesn't quite work out or there's a turnover? Then that whole thing's up in smoke. It seems a little regimented. And then it's like, if you want to make a team uncomfortable, if a team only does things one way and you force them to do it another way, they're uncomfortable. I mean, I kind of feel like after a while, you may want to just mix it up for the sake of mixing it up so your guys feel comfortable either way.
And just to keep your own team on its toes, just to keep your own team a little fresh, a little different. Now, here's the thing, too. If you got a winning formula, stick with it. I thought last year might have been a year to experiment a little with the formula because the winning wasn't following the formula. And again, we couldn't even get a Tanner Mordecai in week. Doesn't matter anymore. Whatever. He's not even on the team. Doesn't matter. Anyways, let's keep going because I got Sammy and Andrew Siciliano joining me at 11. Siciliano's going to pop on by for a little bit today. So
Sammy and I had a monster stream yesterday because we happened to go live right at the time that stuff was going down, and it just it blew up. We probably should have held off till the actual Cutdown, but we did it in the morning A lot of people there.
Well,
a lot of people
when you and I
probably have more people here today. Actually, I should say we have almost 4,000 people watching this morning. Kid Trickster in the house.
Do you remember when you and I on it was that first free agent that we were both on YouTube together, and we did a 5-hour NFL free agency show, and the Niners didn't lift their finger? Something's gonna happen this hour, Larry. Something's gonna happen. Nothing.
Oh, the big free agency kickoff show. Yeah, that was brutal. This guy signed. That guy signed. Nothing. Kid Trickster. 49ers also miss out on ice. Excuse me? Swallow?
He's trying to make you say, I swallow cum. This is like a Bart Simpson calling Mose. He's trying to get you to say something dirty, Larry. Don't take the bait.
That's really awesome.
At least he paid to do it.
That's really quite creative. LG Studios. You and Damon remind me of my football coaches growing up. Please don't ever change.
I hope those are fond memories.
Seriously. JC Mania. I'm happy Valdez is back, but I felt like it was too good to be true since it came at the expense of Lampkin going to Philly. LOL. Go Niners and wake up.
Wake up, baby.
Ernberg, don't play any starters while the season, whole season, and tank for the draft.
Oh, he's already in the Arch Manning sweepstakes.
That's awesome. Ernberg has Jed lost interest in this regime or even team?
No,
but I mean, I would, it's like Jed did Jed tighten the purse strings? Did Jed? Yes. Why did the 49ers in a year? I mean, this is what's so aggravating. And it's like, and I'd hide out and wouldn't do real interviews either if I were them. Because why did you sit out basically the undrafted portion? You were 26th in undrafted spending. Why? Why in a year where you have almost $100 million of dead money, and your stated goal is to roll over $40 million of available cap room in that super pinched market? Why wouldn't you go more aggressive in the undrafted market when you've dominated the undrafted market? To me, that was a Jed edict to just save bucks. And when you care about saving bucks to that degree that you're not willing to spend in the undrafted college free agent market, you care too much about your dollars, especially when your assets worth billions. And the Super Bowl's here. Ben Diesel. I think Shanahan and Lynch's sentimental feelings towards certain players will cost them, and they can't afford another bad season. Yeah, they are the warmest duo there is. Bill Walsh was cold. Jimmy Johnson was cold. Bill Belichick is a cold mother. Eric DeCosta is cold. Howie Roseman is cold. The Niners are warm. They're warm. They're like, they could be like local TV stars. They're so warm. And I think Shanahan goes and parties with these guys, and Cabo and Lynch is hanging out. They're tight. They have relationships, really close relationships with all these guys, which you would say is a good thing, but it's a bad thing if you can't part ways. If you can't say goodbye to the Juices of the world because you love them too much, it's not good.
Right. Here's the thing. Be friendly with your players. You can have a warm disposition about you. You can be engaging and make people around you comfortable and not put everyone on edge. That's fine. That's modern Bay Area living, right? That's what we do. But it can't get in the way of making the right choice. And hard choices still have to be made by warm people. So, you got
to be willing to cut somebody who you love. And they did that with Zakel and others, but they really do love their guys. And a lot of times there's kind of like a backstory. Why is this guy there? Well, there's a backstory. Why is that guy there? There's a backstory. You show me enough rosters with enough backstories, and I'll show you some bad rosters. Anthony licked Scorpion. Larry, we got Robert fucking Saleh. And remind us what wide receiver Kansas City had against the 49ers D in the last Super Bowl we lost to. Wooza, Larry. 30-year drought
sucks.
30 years drought sucks.
Have faith.
The Chiefs, what receivers did the Chiefs have? They had good enough receivers to beat the Niners.
Yeah. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, I think, is a shout out.
Travis Kelce. I mean, they had Mahomes, who the Niners just chose not to scout. That decision didn't work out. Fuji Simeon, Damon, what are your expectations for IU football this year?
Let's get back to 8 wins, and anything on top of that is gravy boat for me. Like, that's the thing. I don't expect.
They have players. They still have players this year.
They got real talent, man. They got real REAL talent all across the league. And if Mendoza comes in from Cal and plays good quarterback,
how about that?
Dude,
yeah, Mendoza's gutty, dude.
He is. So I'm talking.
Is that when he's a starter, huh?
Do you want me to say we're going to be back in the college football playoffs? Because we're going to be. Here we go, baby. We're going to win a game this year, too. Because we're not going to South Bend. We're going to do it in Bloomington. Rah! I don't know. We'll probably win 5 games. That's Indiana football.
How good is Rourke?
Curtis Rourke?
Yeah, because he led them to a playoff appearance. Indiana.
He was fantastic.
Nothing against it, but their basketball school.
He was fantastic. Every single
How
time
did he do that? He played hurt.
Every time I watched him, I said, is this guy an NFL quarterback? And by the end of the game, I'd be like, yeah, I think he is. And then I do that every week.
Didn't you go to UCLA, Indiana, at UCLA?
I did. I went down to Pasadena for that game. It was incredible. I'd never gotten on an airplane and had Indiana win a football game before in my life. So that was new to me. It was all new to me.
Claw Daddy Arcades is one of the sponsors of the Krug Show. Great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a arcade location near you. Capitola Mall and Visalia Mall opening this year. He says Lampkin to the Eagles is confirmation that Roseman secretly follows Larry on Twitter. Or maybe he just knows good offensive line play. By the way, Willie Lampkin was the highest graded offensive lineman in the entire league in the preseason, and he wound up on the Eagles, on the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Oh my gosh. Will Fries or Freeze says, do you think MVS will be starting week 1? God, I hope not. I hope not. I'm not an MVS guy. I just don't. I'm not. Hopefully it's JJ and Pearsall, right? That would be the hope, I think. We'll find out later today. Fuji Simeon, what are your thoughts on proposed expanded college football playoff format? How would you go about it? I like the current format. What is it? What's the number now we're at?
12 teams. Yeah, 12 teams get it. Here's the thing. What I want college to do is declare a 20-year moratorium on any movement. No one can jump conferences. We're not changing the playoffs every 2 years. We're not reformatting everything for the sake of the network executive or the Big Ten or the SEC who wants to put their swinging dick in front of everybody all the time. Stop moving around things so much all the time. A little tradition taking place. People getting used to how things work. People getting used to how conferences look is a good thing for the sport. So stop changing it every 5 minutes. We got transfer portals.
I'm with you.
NIL.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you.
It's too much.
There is a chaos about college sports right now that it's never been worse for the coaches. It may never be better for the players, but it's never been worse for the coaches. You have to recruit everybody. You have to re-recruit. You got to re-recruit. You got to re-recruit. You're constantly, you tell somebody, sit the fuck down. You're not playing. Oh, I'm transferring. And, it's a cluster. It's an absolute cluster. I love college football for the variety of scheme. That's what I love about it. And as Damon says, the tradition. But since the tradition's all gone, all it really is the variety of scheme and draft prospects. Because I'm a Sac State guy. I don't really have a betting interest, let's say. So those are our thoughts. We got this one from Franco. Hey, what's up, Franco? He says, is the call-in show going to come back this season? Yes, it is. It's going to be Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights, we will do the call-in show, Franco, and we want to hear from you. Carlos, Niners, 9-4. Niners need a cornerback and a new kicker. Okay. There's a guy who feels like he knows. Fuji Simeon, with NIL and money flowing to players, will more Division II schools drop to Division III or cut sports entirely, like Sonoma State or partially like SF State?
Yes.
Yeah. I forget those schools. Those schools are for sure doing that. I think what we're headed towards is, and Damon kind of referenced it a little bit, we're headed towards the exclusive conference, everybody who's going to spend billions, that conference. Right. Eventually it's going to not be about geography or anything. It's just going to be about who's at the big boy table.
There will be 4 conferences remaining at the table when it's all said and done. It's going to be Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12. That's it.
But you know what? The ACC and the Big 12 have so much less momentum than the SEC that it's hard to see them doing something that's literally equitable. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's bringing a bunch of YouTube channels together. It's like the guy who's got, 17 trillion viewers is going to be like, hey, man, I want a special deal. And the SEC is going to say the same thing. I want a special deal. And I don't know if special deals work in sports like that. You know what I mean? Broken metronome. Kyle's wife must be disappointed since he's always doing the same thing. Oh gosh.
No, we don't talk about guys' wives like that. Come on.
We're better than that. Come on, broken metronome. That's terrible. Enrique Martinez Jr. We need to get a new punter and kicker for the next season and a couple O linemen. Secondly, Kyle needs to use more trick plays during the season. Wouldn't mind a few trick plays.
Hey,
Digital Drew.
Give me a little razzle dazzle.
Member for 30 months. He says, I didn't support this show for 30 months to hear Damon quote preseason records to me.
Look,
shame,
I
Damon.
It doesn't matter, but the thing is, you can't tell me that they played so poorly in the preseason and still had a winning record. I mean, like, what is it? They played
It's the preseason. The Giants are 3-0.
We haven't even seen the 49ers yet, I guess is my point. And
I would say I got
to hit the bathroom before I start my 11 o'clock.
We're almost done. We got two more here. I think we have two more. 50% of the time, Kyle loses every time. There you go. What was that from? Anchorman.
Yeah. It's
us and whatever. Watch some Mike. Jesus, Mike Lyterius highlights. He's so good.
I think he's trying to get you to say Mike. Yeah, I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here.
But thank you for your $1.99. JC Mania, do you think the Pac-12 will ever be the same? Let me think about that for a second. No. That's going to do it for us. Damon, I'll give you the final word as we bolt for the door. Almost 4,000 people watching this live stream. We just want to thank each and every one of you. If you guys could hit like and subscribe, we really would appreciate that. If you just, the like just helps more people find the stream eventually. And then if you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell, anytime Damon or I go live, you don't have to miss a minute of it. And if you're watching live on YouTube, smash that button. And remember, you can catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your favorite platform is on our end. Just type in The Krug Show.
Our next wake up will be Monday. Monday next week, waking up in a game week. How nice is that?
That will be nice. That will
How
be
nice is that?
What's the Thursday night opener? Do you know?
What's that?
Do you know what the Thursday night opener is?
Yeah, it's Cowboys Eagles.
Cowboys Eagles, the Willie Lampkin show.
The Willie Lampkin Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you seriously to everyone for watching. Larry's talking about all those people sitting in the room. So many more people sitting in Larry's channel than over here on the Plus. If you're sitting in Larry's channel, kids, give the Plus a kiss, a like, a subscribe, if you would, please. We're trying to get to 50,000 before the bye week. Larry tells me the world changes when a man gets to 50,000 subs. So I'd like to be a man one day. So please get me there. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. It was
one last thing. Go ahead, Damon. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. Oh, we got one last super in here. I get MDS isn't exactly exciting, but maybe you can provide some insight into Seattle. Yeah, there you go. Maybe they can sit him down, spotlight, interrogate him, learn some things.
Damon, the most exciting part of my life right now is watching my youngest son play high school football. Mm-hmm. And I hope that you get this opportunity to watch your boys. I don't know if you're going to let them play or want them to play or whatnot, but I will say this. I think there are some real, I do understand that the boys' bodies get broken and we're obviously nobody wants to see that.
Right.
But
also understand this, the vast majority of everyone who ever played high school football is fine.
Right. And my guys, loving it. And he showed me highlights of a tackle he made last week, and I just love it. Anyway, Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning at around 11:30, I will be venturing to Tam High School to watch Northgate against Tam JVs. So good luck to the Northgate JVs. Good luck to Christopher. He's battling it out this week. He's got a terrible cold, and his coaches are like, "Get it! You better be at practice." I'm like, "Yeah, it's football, man. You got to practice with a cold."
Right.
So So there you go. Good luck to Northgate. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. I'm off to Santa Clara to listen to what Shanahan and Lynch have to say about their wide receivers. And until Monday, Damon, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Go Niners. Peace.